Okay, so there's the 4 core beliefs of a coach-like leader, and then there are these 4 key skills that help support that. The first skill is deep listening. Second skill is curiosity. The third is self-management. And the fourth is accountability. 1. Deep listening. Listening is about giving other people our full attention. We use the active listening skills we previously covered, but we're also looking for what's not being said. So we're listening to others, to what they're saying, but also the tone of their voice, their body language, their general energy, to try to see and hear what's going on for them that they're not actually saying. And when we're listening, it's important to ask ourselves if are we constantly, as we're listening to others, relating things back to ourselves? Am I always trying to solve the problem that they ask or relate a similar story? If so, then that's not deep listening. We're not listening with their best intentions in mind. We're focusing on ourselves the whole time that we're listening to them. So, deep listening is about really showing up for the other person. And when they're talking, we're not trying to find out ways that what they say relates to us. We're just trying to hear them. We're not listening with the intent to respond. We're listening with the intent to understand. The second point, curiosity. Curiosity is a super important skill for a coach to have. We need to be curious about what's going on for other people. Being curious means that we don't have all the answers. Being curious is assuming that the other person has the answer somewhere within them. We want to know more about what's going on for them. We're open. We're trying to understand what's happening. We're not trying to provide a solution. And part of curiosity, when someone comes to us with a problem, we want to get curious about what's going on for them. We don't want to get curious about the minutia of the problem. It's an easy trap to fall into where someone comes to us with a problem and we get super curious about what the details of that problem are so that we can start solving it. But as coaches, we want to get curious about the other person's relationship to the problem. Our job is not about gathering information about the circumstance. It's about asking questions and getting curious about the coachee's relationship to that circumstance or that problem. So if you were coaching me and I was saying that I'm having a really hard time buying this car, a non-coach-like approach would be to just start asking me all sorts of questions about the car, what kind of car it is, have I bought a car before, what am I looking for, and really getting into those fine details of the purchasing of the car. And a coach-like approach would ask me something like, is that something you normally struggle with when you're making big purchases? Instead of approaching the minutia of the exact problem, the coach is asking me something that gets to the underlying issue. And then once we address those underlying issues, then when I'm faced with making a decision that's like that again, I know what comes up and then I can move through it. It's like teaching someone how to fish instead of just giving them a fish. So get super curious about what's going on for the other person about how they relate to the problem. Don't get curious about the actual problem itself. The third point is self-management. Self-management is everything we've really been going through up until now. It's understanding our comfort, stretch, and panic zones. It's knowing what our values are. It's practicing active listening. It's all of that is centered around us not becoming the central figure in these coach-like conversations. We use self-management in coach-like conversations so that the other person can be the center of the show. We need to shut ourselves up and not make it about us so that it can really be about the other person. And the fourth point is accountability. If we believe that other people are capable and have the capacity for growth and have this greatness inside of them, then we need to hold other people accountable. It's our job as a coach to make sure that when these coachees set their SMART goals, that they're being held accountable, that we're checking in with them, and that we expect and demand that they respect themselves enough to follow through on what they've said that they would do. Holding people accountable is a real gift. We're giving these folks the gift of trust in themselves, that we trust them, that they can achieve the things that they've set out to do.